great morning.
Great morning.
Great morning. And welcome back to another episode of Great Morning. I'm your host, Christian Mermer, Merms, Mermdog, whatever the fuck you want to call me. And to the left of my computer screen, we have the Fact Queen, my sister from the East, that Puerto Rican mamacita from Spanish Harlem, Stephanie 2.0. How you doing today?
Good. I'm smacked as fuck right now. Super smacked.
Why? What are you smoking weed? What are you doing? Drinking?
Yeah, no, I was smoking some weed, enjoying the weather. It's really, really nice out. My mom has
nice
like
out.
this little thingy over here, like the water, you know?
There hasn't been a lot of rain this summer, huh?
No.
The grass is drying up out here in Jersey. It's sad.
Yeah.
Get some rain
But
going.
it's nice out.
It is nice out though. Yeah, it's been
Really
a nice. Yesterday was a nice day too. I see you're outside. We're doing like kind of an outside recording this time. You got your fucking, you're chilling. By the way, to the listeners, I'm going to say this real quick before because Jimmy's running a little late, so we're doing a little bit of a little prank on him. So everyone in this call right now, we all have our sunglasses on, and Jimmy, when he arrives, if he asks us about the sunglasses, we are not going to acknowledge it. Just so you listeners are aware of that. But knowing our luck, he might not even fucking ask about it anyway. So, but I mean,
he'll definitely notice.
Well, he'll definitely notice, but he might not ask about it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. But what else has been going on, Stephanie? How you doing?
Grandma's at the hospital.
Great news.
She's home. She's able to, move around. And she's independent. She's strong as hell. So she's doing her thing. Landon is inside chilling. He ate his macaroni and cheese, and that's pretty much it. I'm just chilling. It's real fucking nice out right now. What's up with y'all?
Nothing, man. I'm fucking good. It's nice Sunday. We've moved recordings to Sundays now. Not that it matters for listeners. We're still dropping on Wednesdays, but we moved it to Sundays. We found it was a little easier for us, and we kind of switched up the time so everyone can, get here accordingly. There's no rushing or waking up super early or anything like that. We got to make it work since we have multiple people on this podcast, not just, one or two people. So, it's nice, I like this. Nice Sunday. I'm going to go probably out after this, see what's up. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying summer. Summer has been pretty good so far to me. I had my birthday. I went on 2 vacations. I'm actually going on another vacation next week. I'm actually going to do the podcast from the Caribbean. Much like you did in the Dominican. I'm going to Bonaire, actually.
Oh.
It's it's like, I think it's close to like Aruba. I don't know exactly where it is, but we're going there. Like the family's going. So
nice.
that'll be my final vacation because I think I'm going to be fucking out of money. I don't want to dip into my savings. So
yeah,
I'm going to be pretty chill after that, hopefully.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, Stephanie, for telling us how you're doing. But, we got someone else here, of course. And before Jimmy gets here, I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. We have with us of course, everyone knows him from this season. We now call him the in-studio comedian whenever he's on. He's been on probably more times than any other guest. He's not a guest anymore. I don't even like calling him a special guest co-host anymore because, like I said, he's the in-studio comedian. How you doing today, Topaz Chuck, my friend?
What's good? Yo, I hope everybody's having a good morning and a good week.
Yes.
I'm good, man.
What have you been up to since we last saw you?
And drinking water. Trying to be that,
we were talking about that before we started this.
Trying to be that fine dad in the room, you know what I'm saying?
It was a lot more interesting, by the way, to the listeners. It was a funny conversation. Then they're probably thinking like, "Oh wow, you guys were talking about drinking water beforehand. That sounds really fucking boring." No, it was really interesting, actually. Trust me.
Yeah, trying to get my cheekbones to show, you know what I mean, so I can be that fine dad in the room.
No.
I think if you drink too much water, we were also talking about this, that'll also incorporate in you maybe accidentally shitting your pants.
Well, the last time I shit my pants, I don't think I was drinking a whole lot of water. So I was probably hungover, as a matter of fact. I think
that'll do it.
That'll definitely do it.
The hangover or, oh God, what did I eat? I ate like just a normal breakfast sandwich one day when it happened to me once. And I must have been hungover too, but like my body just like, it couldn't fucking handle this shit, man. I couldn't handle it. It had to come out a little bit. That's okay. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm a grown ass man. Stephanie, you ever shit yourself as an adult?
Mm-mm.
She's
I don't
just
think a
being
girl
modest.
will ever admit to
Yeah,
shitting
she's just
themselves.
not admitting it.
But but I have tinkled.
No, everyone's done that. That's
Nah,
Yeah,
man,
but,
that's different because women having a weak bladder is like normal after giving birth and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. See, they can go with that. They good with that. They don't even have skid stains in their drawers. How do you wear a thong all the way up there, not even a skid stain? Women will never admit to these things.
Chuck, you're making it harder on us. You're making it seem like when we piss our pants, it's there's no really good excuse.
There is no good excuse. Fuck, we got a weak bladder for. We didn't push no babies out.
Well, we helped in the beginning, right?
No.
I mean,
well,
yeah.
We did the fun part, you know?
No.
You know how that works.
Now I suffer and I have a weak bladder.
Now you
see, you can't even tickle them good. And you'd be like, I got a weak bladder. You can yell it out in public, and then other moms be like, me too. But a dude be like, hey, stop tickling me. I'm gonna shit myself. Everybody gonna look at you silly.
Stop tickling me. I'm gonna shit myself.
Fuck you mean you gonna shit yourself, boy?
It's legit a crazy little tinkle.
Oh my God. Let me ask you something. So I know this has been going around for a long time, and I've never really looked into it because I guess I just didn't care enough. Is when a girl squirts, or a woman, I should say, I'm sorry. When a woman squirts, is that piss? It's piss, right?
No, it don't taste like pee. It tastes like two different things.
What is
it? I know this from my own research of having more than one squirt into my mouth.
Please elaborate then. What is it?
It's not a water.
Okay.
It's definitely not pee.
But where does it even come from? It's like, if there's only one spot where like your bladder is, where it holds piss, is there some secret compartment somewhere on a woman that also holds this liquid that just in case you just hit that spot just right, it'll come out a little bit? That doesn't make any sense. I feel like that doesn't.
If it is pee, it's very hydrated. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, maybe it's more like water. Maybe to get a girl to squirt all the time, she has to drink a lot of water before you guys have sex or do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
What do you think it is, Stephanie? Do you think it's piss?
I don't think it's piss. It's I don't know. It's nut. I don't fucking know.
It's nut. It's cum.
Yeah. It's thinner. It's thinner than
it's like a viper.
It's ejaculate.
No.
But not everybody can do it, and that's a special thing. It's special.
It is cool when it happens for the first time. I think I was like 18 when I saw that for the first time with a girl. I was very proud of myself. But then again, I don't know if it was actually me or like she was doing something special when I wasn't looking, drinking too much water before it happened.
Oh yeah, drinking a shit ton of water.
She's like, every time I turned around real quick, she took a gallon. She's just fucking chugging it. She's like, I gotta fucking squirt here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit piss, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. Fucking do it. I don't give a shit.
They did research and they found a little bit in there. So I mean, every shot is some.
It's gotta be because it comes out of her urethra, right? There's not, like again, sperm, there's not even like a secret compartment that this just comes out of.
Sperm. There's some pee and sperm, and that's okay.
Sperm?
Yeah, there's some pee and sperm. It comes out of the same goddamn tube, so there's pee residue. I'm just saying. I'm trying to line it up. How you can get pee and squirt and pee and cum because they come out of the same hole.
Okay.
Same thing. Yeah.
But it's not. It can't be sperm because women don't produce sperm. We produce sperm.
No, I'm just saying for dudes on the dude side, you get pee and sperm, and on the women's side, you get pee and sperm.
So it's
just
actually,
very little bit.
Excuse me, it's actually a mixture of urine and it's watered down urine.
Yeah.
Hydrate, like I said.
That's what I thought.
Hydrated.
Yep. Hydrate, ladies, if you want to do that before that special day comes. But yeah, going back to shitting yourself real quick before we get into something else. I have a friend who has one of the best shitting himself stories ever. He said I can tell it. I'm not gonna say who he is because you actually know who he is. I don't want to.
Damn, is it me?
No, it's not you. It's not you.
Just
say it's me if it's me. No, it's not you.
Just say it's me if it's me. We already acknowledged that I pooped myself already. We already said that, and I'm pretty sure people lined it up that I was an adult because I said I was probably hungover. If it's me, say it's me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't you. I would say because you and I were already talking about it. I would have said it was you, and I would have had you tell the story. I wouldn't tell the story for you. But one day he was driving. I forget where he was, San Diego probably, right? Driving around, he was doing these pickups and stuff for like Uber and whatever, and he had a really bad stomach ache, and he had to fart like all of us do, and he thought it was just a normal fart, and he ends up really bad shitting himself, and he's like, holy shit. So he pulled over to the side of the road. He's kind of like almost on the highway, so he gets like behind the car. Luckily he was smart. He always had like an extra bag of clothes in the car. So he's like, I gotta get changed real quick. So he's like outside the car, he's getting changed. He takes the underwear, like throws them in the woods or something. As he's doing this, fucking cop car, whoop, whoop, pulls up right behind him, sees what's going on. Cop comes over, he's like, what's going on? Why is your clothes off? And he had to be like, officer, I'm not gonna make an excuse. I'm not gonna lie to you. I fucking shit myself, so I'm getting changed. And the cop literally was just like, damn, man, I'm sorry. And just like, all right, man, get dressed and just get out of here. Thank
God.
Just took off. Was like, damn, that sucks. But man, a fucking cop had to pull up at that moment while he's getting changed, out of his poopy diaper or whatever. I always thought that was a great
poopy diaper. He wore a diaper?
No, no, he didn't, but that'd be fun.
That would be funny.
I like calling it his poopy diaper. All right, here. I got something for you guys that I was thinking about the other day.
That's why I stopped wearing drawers.
I was thinking about this in a conversation with my friends back here in New Jersey. There's a very specific scenario, and I want to ask you guys, and hopefully Jimmy gets here soon so I can ask him too, because I'd like to hear what he has to say. Say you could go back in time. You can't go in the future. That's one of the rules. So you can't go in the future. You can go back in time. These are the things I want from you. You can go back to any year you want. But I need a specific year. Pick a specific year. Any place you want. So you can say fucking like, I want to go back to 1972 in Livingston, Ohio or whatever, right? So you need a place that you'd want to go. Mm-hmm. And then the third thing is, right, you went back in time whenever you get it to the time that you're specifically trying to get to, right?
Were just fucking.
What?
The flies. They were just having sex on the pillow.
Stephanie, we're not talking about flies squirting and shit.
I know, but no, it just happened. I've never seen that shit before.
Leave those flies to their business, all right? Let them have some fun.
They flew away. I'm sorry.
So, you went back in time. That's one of the things. Like, that whenever you get to the time period you want, but you're going to forget everything else about your life and the future except for one thing. And you get to choose that one thing you want to remember before you go back in time. So I need those three things from you. What year do you guys want to go back to? Where would you want to go back to? And what is the one thing you'd want to remember other than that, like, you went back in time? You'll forget everything else about this current period.
I would go back to 2009.
2009? Okay, and where?
Like location?
Yeah, I need the location.
Oh, I'd be in Oak Harbor, Washington, where I was living.
Okay, so you go back to where you're living, and then what is the one thing you would have yourself remember? And it can't be a really broad thing either. It's got to be a little specific. So you can't say, like, I want to remember my entire family. Like, nope. Negative.
I would remember the day the crypto market crashed a few months ago. I would remember that.
Okay.
So I know exactly when to pull out.
So how do you think this would help you going back to that time?
Because I would remember the price it was when it crashed, knowing that I would have made millions of dollars had I invested in 2009.
Are you talking about Bitcoin?
I'm talking about all coins.
I feel like that's a little too broad. I feel like that's a couple things. I feel like I should narrow that down for you.
I just want to remember the one day. That's it. When it happened.
So you just want to remember the one day it crashed in the future. Okay.
I don't even give. Matter of fact, fuck that. I just want to remember. Yeah, the day that. Let me.
Okay. All right. I like it. Okay. So that's where you'd go, time period, and what you'd want to remember. Stephanie, what about you?
I'd probably want to go back to 2001.
Okay.
I'd be in New York City where I lived.
Okay.
And one thing that I would probably want to remember.
While you think about what you want to remember, I'm gonna have you narrow yourself down even more. So New York City, that's fine, but you said 2001. So like, give me a month you'd want to go back to New York City 2001.
Like September. Like I would want to go back to like freshman.
Okay, again, do you understand what I'm like saying here? Do you understand what like you're getting close to?
No.
What happened on September 11th, 2001, New York City?
I don't care about that shit. That's not what I want to fucking remember. Like that's
So I'm asking you though, are you going back before 9/11 or are you going after 9/11?
Before 9/11.
So like September 1st. So you got like 10 days before 9/11.
My freshman year. My freshman year has nothing to do with 9/11. Anyway, I would want to go back to my freshman year and enjoy my high school years and like pay attention in class, whatever. But I think what I would want to remember is probably
September 11th, so you can warn people.
No.
No, she's like, fuck it, let it happen. I got my own problems.
Yeah, nah. Me giving birth to Landon.
Okay. So you'd want to know in the future at some point you met a good guy and had a son with him. A son that you love very much. Oh, I like that. That's very that's very sweet. I like that. I got no problem with that. But how do you think though, if you were able to go back to that time, how do you think that would help you? Just like the nice thought knowing that you're gonna have Landon one day, or are you, since you have all that time before Landon's born, like do you think like you'd try to prepare more and do something else maybe?
Yeah, like I would like, I don't even mind the age that I had Landon, but like I would just want to be like everything that I know now. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like I'm all prepared for it, and you know what I mean? Like, okay, just know that I pretty much like I got this shit and we're good. That's it.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that very much. I think you guys have picked pretty good ones. I don't know if this is a contest, but it's kind of funny though that Stephanie is going back in time 10 days before 9/11 and like just doesn't remember anything about it, and it's just totally gonna happen again. I don't know if I should be laughing about that.
I don't know either, but that's wild.
It's just like she's like, nah, fuck it. Like I'm gonna
everything that happens for good, and then just let
I just wasn't really like, nah.
You could potentially like stop 3,000 people from dying, and then even the more people that died going to Afghanistan and Iraq, and you're just like,
you're not gonna stop that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be able to stop that. Like it was just it wasn't something that I wanted to remember.
Yeah, who are you? You got to remember that too. Who are you to stop that? And
I know
you're right. You 10 days before to stop that. You think if you call the police 911 and be like, look, somebody is gonna steal the 3 airplanes and cause a national disaster on September 11th. Ain't nobody gonna stop that.
Yep.
You're not gonna stop that, because then they're gonna be like, ma'am, how do you know this? Who do you know? And you're gonna be like, actually, I don't know anybody. Osama bin Laden. And they're gonna be like, really? Osama bin Laden? And then they're gonna they're gonna lock you up.
Yeah, they're gonna think either you're just crazy, or they're gonna be like, why are you calling us about this? You know, that's a great point. And people have made that point with like a lot of things. Like when people are like, you know, if I could go back in time, I'd go back in time and kill Hitler. And it's like, I don't think going back in time and killing Hitler is that easy. You know, they tried to assassinate Hitler like on 8 different occasions, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And then like, also like, are you saying like you'd go back in time to when he's like a baby and you're going to shoot a baby in the face or something? Like, what are you talking about?
There is no such thing as a bad baby.
You know, exactly.
There are people who raise that baby to make that baby what that baby becomes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Although I don't know if it was really his parents that made him do that. His dad was kind of a dick, but like his mom was really nice, and then she died of cancer. I think he was kind of just fucking wacky, but
you can't be born that way. No, there's no such thing. If he had him Aunt May that was in the church all the time and singing and making waffles on Sunday morning, he turned out to act like that. No.
Well, I don't know. You never know. Like, because he was like not that we know from history, but like he didn't really have like any big influence. It's not like there was some guy around that's just like, hey, by the way, the Jews really suck, right? And he's like, you know what, you have a point. And then like he grew up to be like that. Like
yes, that had to happen.
Well, maybe it did. In like, it's not because there are periods of anyone's life where we don't realize exactly everything that happens. So that could have actually happened, but we don't know about that specifically. One of the interesting things, two interesting things about Hitler though, is I forget what rank he was, but when Hitler was just a soldier in World War I, his commander was Jewish, and he really liked his commander. He thought he was like a really good commander. Also, this is a famous misconception that people get wrong a lot, actually, is that the doctor who treated Hitler's mother when she had cancer was Jewish, and then she died of cancer, and a lot of people believe this myth that that's why Hitler hated the Jews, is because a Jewish doctor couldn't save his mother's life. That's actually not true. Hitler really liked that doctor, and when World War II broke out and they were, containing all the Jews and putting them in concentration camps, he helped that doctor escape Germany, and he also helped his old commander from the army escape Germany as well, and they were both Jewish. Really interesting fact to know about. The big H right there. Not saying he's a good guy for doing that, but I mean, like, not trying to, humanize Hitler here, but that's one of the facts we've had about him before. Oh, you know what? I think someone else just came into this call real quick. Mr. Jimerson, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, he can. All right. So to the bottom right of my computer screen, we have the boss, the pimp, the CEO, the chief, slightly special himself, Jimmy the Shooter. How you doing today?
What's up, man?
What's going on? What have you been up to?
Oh, a whole lot. I actually just had a really good conversation with my lawyer. Well, what are we talking about? I heard Hitler.
Oh man, we've been talking about a lot of crazy shit. Let me back up because they gave me theirs. Let me do this with you. All right, it's not really a game. I guess you can call it a game, but we're like playing a hypothetical, right? So you got three choices, right? So you're going back in time. You can choose any year you want to go back in time. So any year you want, but it has to be back in time. You can't go in the future, right? Back in time, you can choose any place you want to go. So you can say, like I said to them, you can pick 1972 Livingston, Ohio, right? Whatever you want. Any place you want to go to, any country, whatever. As long as it's on Earth, like don't say Mars or something. And then not only do you remember that you traveled back in time, you will remember that, but you'll forget everything else about your life after the year you travel back to, except for one thing. And it can't be a broad thing. You can't be like, I want to remember my entire family. Like that's too broad. It's got to be a little specific. You can remember one thing about your life in the future. So go ahead. What year would you go back to? What place would you go to? And what is the one thing you'd want to remember? Other than that,
I basically have a new identity, right?
Yeah, you could even do that. You can be someone.
And then I'll just be like, yeah, I just have this like internal feeling about who I am as a person, but it's actually from the person of the future.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like normal life. Okay. Yeah. Because I already think that's kind of how it works. Timeline.
Chuck, you all right? What was that? You doing sit-ups? What happened there?
Yeah. So I was laying flat on my back. It's good for your back. Lay on something flat.
I'm gonna say, am I black?
Yeah, you don't. You
can I be white?
Changing your race, that wasn't one of the options.
Can I be like a different race? Because the Roaring '20s were dope, right? From what I hear, you had the Prohibition. You had speakeasies. The music was great. The only problem is it was only great for white people.
Yeah, no, I'm only gonna allow, because I didn't give Stephanie and Chuck that option, so I'm not gonna allow you to change your race. So you'd look exactly the same as you do right now when you travel back in time.
Oh, so I'm wearing this hoodie.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can change clothes whenever you get there, but I mean, like your physical like body, like that would be the same.
I thought you were going back to a year in your life.
You can no, like you could have chosen like 1572. I don't care.
Oh, fuck them! They weren't living long enough.
Yeah, like you would think it'd be cool to be alive during like the gladiator age and shit, but that place is
I would not.
We'd be dead already.
I would not think that was cool.
They had like 5 kids by 21 and they were gone at 23. That was it.
Yeah, that shit was disgusting. Like castles were just like disgusting places of feces and ugh. So I'm gonna probably say I want to say kind of like the 1800s. And
I need a specific year, though. You got to pick a specific year.
1819.
Okay, so you're going back to 1819, and where would you like to go?
I want to go to the Wild West of 1819. I want to be like Django. I want to get on a horse. I want to be a black guy. I want to murder motherfuckers.
Okay.
Right. That's fine. That's
what it would be.
Your thing.
If I went back to 1819, that's what it would be, bro. It wouldn't be no love shit. If I could remember one thing, it would be the oppression. Cause I would be like, man, you know what? I remember the oppression and this character named Django. I would keep that memory. Go back to 1819. Not fall for no shit. Not convinced of nothing. Right? Get on a horse and start capping motherfuckers.
You know what? I'm gonna allow it because that's part of the game.
You know,
but
that is massive.
But I feel like that wouldn't go as well as you'd think it would go.
I think it'd go great, man. I'd throw grenades in barns.
I don't even know if like 1819, like the Wild West actually began. Let me look that up. When did the Wild West
begin? You'd be dead.
No, I wouldn't. I'd survive. 1819. You could, I could fight and I could shoot. I could fight and shoot.
I guess it did. Yeah, you can pick that, I guess. I feel like that'd be a lot.
Damn, you would
harder.
remember the oppression?
And I would avenge the future. And I would go down in history with the real Django. I wouldn't be no fictional Django. I'd be a real Django. Jimmy Django.
What if like you get there right away and people are like, hey, that guy got loose. Get him. And then like there's just a bunch of people overcrowd you. And then.
Well, that's the thing. In 1819.
Write your history? Now let's make this a story. Who's going to write your history? Because if you die, and they don't write your history, how you gonna go down in history?
I'm gonna write my own history.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this is a very difficult situation you put yourself in. It's like you started a new video game that you've never played before, and you put the difficulty up to insanity.
Yeah, well, fuck around and find out, cuz.
All right, so let's say hypothetically that you get to a spot where you have some time to at least prepare for your new life in the, in 1819. What would you really like want to do? Because I like, okay, let's be honest with each other. Like Django is a completely fictional movie. Good movie, of course. I love Quentin Tarantino, but it's completely fictional, and it would probably be really difficult to you, a lone gunman, take on hordes of I mean, some people weren't even racist back then. You might find nice white people, but to take on like such battalions that you're imagining, like what would you do to prepare for that, Jimmy?
This would be a dope ass book.
Like I said, I think it happened.
This would be a dope ass. I could take on a battalion. Could, with the knowledge that I have now, my tactical battle strategy, slaughter a battalion. Those guys don't know shit. They literally lined up in lines and was just like, who's got the most numbers, and shot. Can we write this as a book? This would be a dope ass book.
It's a little cool short story, but again, I think we'd be ripping off Django Unchained. I think this is already a movie. What are you talking about? No. Listen to me. The title is called Jimmy Unchained. Trust me, it's gonna be awesome. It's not.
He was never enchained because he's going back in time as a mixed breed anyway. So
it's like Jimmy Back to the Future.
Jimmy, the proof that the Constitution can be effective.
Jimmy Effective. I like Jimmy Effective. I like that. Jimmy Effective.
Mm-hmm. You invent this time machine and you dial it back. But if you die, that's it. You can't come back. You die and going back in time.
Yeah, it's not a video game. There's no redo.
You gotta survive.
Right. Why do you think that me, first of all, my physical stature from now, I'm gonna be bigger than everybody in 1819. Do you know how malnutritioned everybody was?
Yeah, but also, here's the thing. The people from the Wild West kind of knew, especially the people living there and going on the frontier, they've known how to travel those plains for some time now. And none of us here in this, I'm not just, calling you out. That's not fair. I would say it would be with me, with Chuck, with Stephanie. None of us would even come close to knowing what we would need to do to just even live in such a hostile area at that time. But that's literally why they call it wild.
But you said whenever we go back in time.
Yeah.
Right? Are we being reborn into the area?
You only remember one thing. Well, if you
only remember one thing.
You only can remember one thing. So you're remembering the oppression. So you know that the shit that we went through or whatever, but you don't remember nothing else. So you knowing how to fight, you have to relearn that. You have to relearn how to be you.
Yeah, like you wouldn't remember that you were in the Navy. You wouldn't remember me, which would probably be the saddest part about your life is not remembering your best friend Christian. You wouldn't remember the podcast. You wouldn't remember the 9/11. Like Stephanie, Jimmy, you didn't hear Stephanie's. By the way, real quick before we get more into yours, Stephanie was funny. She's like, I want to go back to 2001, September 1st. Back when I was in high school, and I want to remember giving birth to my son Landon, which I thought was very sweet, but at the same time, she doesn't remember 9/11. So 10 days later, 9/11 will happen. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, going back to yours. So good. You don't remember.
What did Chuck say? Chuck, what did you say? You said you wanted to what?
Go back. I would go back to 2009, and then the one thing I remember is the day the market crashed, so I could know when to pull out. I would just go back knowing I can see how that Bitcoin was at 60K at one point. So, because at 2009, I don't know what Bitcoin was at or all the coins. I just know that it hit at 60K at one point and it crashed.
Okay, I could. You know what? Then maybe I took the question a little far, right? Because I can see how I now seem a little radical by going back to 18.
You immediately got violent too. That's what's really funny. You're like, I'm gonna go back in time and kill a bunch of fucking. It's like holy shit.
I'm going back to 1819 to avenge with a gut-wrenching feeling of the freedom is possible.
And like that's like a really long time because like the Civil War didn't even start until, or maybe it ended, I forget, 65. I forget if that's when it ended or started. So like that's 50 years after 1819. And then even after that, like African Americans were still oppressed in different ways. So it's like, you're not even going back to like a good time where it's like, I can settle this in like a year. It's like, no, man, like you got a while.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I would just be a fucking forerunner. And I would go up to the Rothschilds family and take them all out.
Where the hell are they?
Taking them out.
You know what?
I feel like that's a lot harder.
Now we mentioned them. I'm sorry. The Rothschild, don't take me out, please. People die from them people.
So they're gonna pick this episode up. Now this episode is gonna leak. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Now it's gonna be. They're gonna think you're some freedom fighter. You've never talked this way on the podcast before. Usually, it's pretty funny. Like you're talking like this right now, and like I think like the last time you were on, you were kind of like, yeah, fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, we got something. But in 1863, was it 1863? I should know this. Anyway, that's when the Navy started. So like 1819, I could go back and like I could be like the first captain ever.
I mean, we definitely had a Navy.
I just gotta live 50 years.
All right, this seems pretty.
All right, man. Well, fine. I'll keep it simpler.
I like it. No, keep it. I like it.
Let me go back. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna redo since how we only have people going back to 2001 and 2009. If I could go back at any time, I would go back to 2009 as well. But I would be much more consistent with YouTube because honestly, we are doper than like people that made it.
So your one thing to remember then is like get on YouTube
and be consistent with YouTube. Because when me and Chuck were consistent with YouTube for those like what, not even 3 years, I'm gonna say 2 years. It was ridiculous, man. Snapchats was blowing up.
Shit was dope.
We was averaging like 2,000 to 5,000 views a story. And then we was making some dope ass content. Check it out, Topaz can plug.
That shit is still. How dope is that?
Right?
Still, that the shit that I see, I'm like, we were way cooler than that.
By the way, real quick, what I was thinking I would do is I would go back to 2019. And I would be like every day off after I got off of work. I would go back. So I would go to, because I was in the Navy at that time. So I would just go back to like San Diego. So that would be my place, 2019. The one thing I would remember is that the coronavirus happens. And I would then go like every day I got off of work, I'd be like in the street, like one of those crazy religious people that like talks about like the end of the world's coming soon. And I'd be like that. But I'd say like specifically like COVID-19 is coming and you guys ain't fucking ready for this shit. And like everyone would be like thinking I'm like crazy and like someone would hopefully take a video of it. And then it would happen a year later and people would be like, this guy was fucking right. They would think I'm some fucking genius or something.
You would be like the genius bum.
Yeah.
From the future on the beach.
I would just be like that. And then when people would ask me like, how did you know that would happen? I'd be like, dude, it's the only thing I remember. Like it's all I got for you.
I'm from the future.
They try to ask me like, what other things happen? I'll be like, I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know nothing other than
have you
virus.
guys ever Have you guys ever YouTube those videos of those kids that say they're from the future and they're like, yeah, I'm from the future. This is going to happen at this day and this time. And like people like build cults by them. But then when the day and time happens and it doesn't happen, they're just ripped apart.
Like the
ripped
Mayans?
apart. No, like kids that are like 14 years old on YouTube and they're like, I'm a child from the future.
I've never seen that. No.
Yeah, I've never seen
YouTube
that.
You got to check it out. There's a couple of them.
But what do they say? Like, what are some of the things they say would happen?
Here, let me pull some up. Kid claims he's from the future. Dude, and I'm talking like this kid was on the news. These kids were like making YouTube videos and they were like, in 2023, this will happen. And in 2021, this happens. And this and that, and this and that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. And Russian boy claims he lived on Mars, right? I'm from Mars and I was reborn on Earth. And he's like trying to, and like people claim these lies for years. Okay. Like they stick by it. They'll say like a 6-year, 7-year projection. And then for the next 6 and 7 years, they're like, this is going to happen. And then it doesn't. And
yeah. I'd love to. That's funny. I think that's just funny, though. I'm from Mars. I'm from the future. I'm from Mars, and I got back here. I don't think we'll ever be able to time travel. I don't think that'll ever be a thing, really.
Yeah, I don't. Well, there's a reason why.
I think it's too complicated. And I think like if time travel were a thing, I think someone would have already came back and like done some shit or said some shit.
Maybe time travel are these rich motherfuckers that's already rich. They already came back. They went back to 2008, 2009. And remember the recovery.
I don't know. All right, so let's think about it this way. Okay. Time travel is already a thing. You can time travel. Right? On a very small scale, you time travel every time you go from the East Coast to the West Coast, right? That's time travel. If you're in space and you're an astronaut and you're orbiting the Earth, you're actually moving at a different relative time than people on Earth. That's time travel, right? But if you're talking about like going back hundreds of years, you got to rip through a black hole, and I don't think your body can handle that.
Now, see, that's an interesting concept, is the idea of going through a black hole and where that would take something. I think, though, the problem with that, though, is they think like you'd just be torn into millions and millions of particles that you probably wouldn't be able to like come back as like the person you are on the other side. You'd just be, shreds. But it is interesting to think about black holes and where the fuck that would lead. Like, where the fuck does that go?
Like other than like the black hole thing, though, you do realize like some people, they like quote unquote time travel, but it's like spiritually. You ever have deja vu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That little deja vu thing where it's like, okay, cool. You have a dream and then like you live that fucking dream.
I feel
like,
like
oh,
I've
shit.
it before. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, oh shit, I've done this shit before. That is a sense that time is not technically relative.
I don't know if deja vu is really, I don't know. I don't know if that's really like time traveling though, because there's a lot of things in life that you feel like, oh, I've seen this before, or I think this has happened. That happens to everyone. I don't know if that's really time traveling. It's the same thing with like when people think they experience the Mandela effect. It's like, it's not really the Mandela effect. It's just like people are remembering something just wrong,
What's the Mandela effect?
Oh man, we've talked about. I mean, we can get into it quickly, but we've done. I think we've done whole episodes on the whole Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is like that. You were people. There's like a large group of people, though. It's not just one person. Large group of people that remember something that either it didn't even happen or they just remember it off, like kind of wrong. So like one big Mandela effect that's always funny is you ever heard of that genie movie with Sinbad?
Sinbad made a genie movie?
Yeah, Sinbad.
Where I know Shaq did with Kazam.
See, okay, so you remember it right. So Sinbad never made a genie movie, but there's a lot of people out there that swear that in the 90s there was a genie movie with Sinbad. Like it just didn't happen. Like that's the Mandela effect.
Mandela effect images. You should pull some up.
There's also some with like,
because there's like just Fruit of the Loom. There's some with like the Mona Lisa smiles, where like now the Mona Lisa doesn't smile, but people remember the Mona Lisa smiling, but she's never smiling.
Well, she's always had like, you don't really, that's what's great about that painting is like, you don't really know the expression she's kind of making, it kind of looks like she's almost got like a 5% smile going, if that's even a thing. She almost looks content. So like people see different things. That's why it's like such a popular painting. It's like you look at the Mona Lisa and you feel and see different things.
It's just ugly as fuck.
That's art.
Fucking hate that painting. She ain't got no fucking eyebrows.
Why do you hate that painting?
You don't like the Mona Lisa?
No, he don't like it.
Why not?
She has no eyebrows. I don't trust anybody with no eyebrows.
I think she
How
has.
do you tell their
eyebrows,
facial
dude.
expression? You can't tell a person's facial expression.
I think she has. I'm gonna look up a picture right now. I'm pretty sure she has eyebrows.
She looks like
She
she's
does.
holding in a fart.
Whoa, I don't know, man. I don't know if she's got eyebrows.
You know,
Mona Lisa.
when you hold it in a fart, and everybody can test to this, you don't smile too hard and you don't make really strong facial expressions because it might slip out.
Oh my god, that's
do you
really
think-
funny. It looks like she doesn't have eyebrows, but
She don't.
she does. They're just really low to her. Can you see my screen? They're just really low to her eyes.
That's just a thick ass eyebrow fat that she has, but she has no eyebrows.
She was deemed to be the most beautiful woman
At
But
that
now
time.
look,
at the time.
let Steph go back to that time. Steph wins.
Aww,
What?
aww. You hear that compliment, Steph?
No, I didn't hear shit. What?
Steph's like zoinked out over there. Like I just smoked a
No,
blunt.
because I'm like looking things up for our next little segment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. The Mona Lisa was considered one of the most beautiful women at that time, and Chuck said if you went back in time, then you would be the most beautiful woman.
Oh my goodness, Chuck, you so. I heard you, babes. You're so fucking sweet.
You know who I think still is like the main
have
contender for the most beautiful woman ever? I think it's still Cleopatra.
Really?
I think Cleopatra's still like, of all of history, people believe that was the most beautiful woman ever.
We don't know what she really looked like.
Right.
Shit, man. I don't know.
Wait,
either.
I mean,
mean-
but if she do look
Well-
like Beyonce, then hey,
The Egyptian?
yeah, the
yeah.
Egyptian queen, Cleopatra.
there's look up the images. Like there's so many different images of what she might look like.
The woman who is
Maybe-
able to stop Julius Caesar from trying to conquer Egypt just because she was so fucking hot.
Oh yeah, yeah. But also, I think that's like a time frame where like white dudes was really big in like brown skin.
I mean,
Yeah, they were more
I would too.
pan
You
then.
been in some of that brown skin, JJ?
Mhm.
Good stuff,
Make it
man.
turn your whole dynasty around, man.
Why you bullshit?
Oh, man.
It'd change a whole kingdom.
Well, you know, that's a really good segue right there, guys. Speaking of brown skin JJ, I think it's time. Stephanie, we hear some facts.
Let's hear some motherfucking facts.
Let's hear some motherfucking facts. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think it's time. I think it's time for Stephanie to give us some fucking facts. Stephanie's facts. Stephanie's facts. Oh yeah, baby. All right, Stephanie. Let's give us some fucking facts.
All right. So, did you know that 275 out of 800 known North American bird species take shelter in New York City? Did you know that?
Wait,
I did not know
200
that, but that sounds like it makes sense.
275 out of what?
800.
Wow. It's over a fourth.
Incredible
crazy.
shit.
That
Yep.
I feel like that makes sense, but I did not know that. That's cool. That's interesting.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
go to New York.
Hold on.
Wow.
So check this out, because after this, you're probably not gonna want to go. So New York City parking tickets make around 120 million in revenue for the city. Did you know that?
I feel like that makes
I
sense.
could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
That-
see that.
I feel like that's totally how New York gets.
But imagine like what percent of the population of New York actually drives? Imagine if like at least 50% of people drove in New York.
Jesus
It'd be
Christ.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's just like even the people just visiting, like coming up from Jersey, or people who like went there on vacation, got a rental car. Like it's always some shit, and there's always spots. New York sucks because of that. There's always spots you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can park here, and then you park there, you come back 30 minutes later, and there's a fucking ticket, and you're like, what the fuck?
Well,
Yeah.
you ever went to those goddamn parking spots where it's like, don't park here between Monday and Friday between this time and this time and this time. You be studying the shit out of that.
Yeah, you be looking. You're looking at the
Yeah.
sign for like 20 minutes. Like, all right, so
So
what? Can I park here? Can I not?
So at this time,
You be looking at your watch.
cannot park here. Yeah, it's bullshit. But anyway, so on November 28th, 2012, it's a historical day for New York because for that day, for the first time ever, for the city to have 0 recorded reports of any stabbings, shootings, murder, or other violent crimes or incidents.
None at all on that day.
None.
You said November.
Say the date again.
November 12th.
November 28th of 2012.
That's the day I'd go back
Hey.
in time and I'd punch somebody in the face.
You'll just remember this one fact.
Ruin the streak.
That's the
man.
day I'd go back in time just to ruin New York's reputation.
What year?
Fuck
What
you,
year
New
was
York.
that?
Nah, I don't know.
2012?
I'm going back in time to New York and I'm bringing a knife. And all I know, the one thing I'm going to remember is that I got to fucking stab someone.
Fucking Shank City, baby. Take the hit. You know what I'm saying? I
That's
want to
funny.
be known
That's
as the
crazy.
most massive murder. You know, like the exact opposite. Yeah. Nice.
I need to see what day that was. That was the day. That
Google
was the
it.
day before Thanksgiving.
Was there something going on? Oh, it's probably just Thanksgiving, man. People were just tired of the shit.
They were just getting
Probably.
ready. Like, all right, come on, let's not fucking stab each other today.
Okay, ready? So New York City was witness to one of the first acts of domestic terrorism. Back in 1920, a horse-drawn carriage trotted down Wall Street. The explosives that it carried killed 30 people upon detonation. However, no one was caught and held accountable for the attack.
You- on a horse?
Yes, correct.
Wait, what was the year?
1920?
See, that's some gangster shit.
That
That's some
was
gangster
Django.
shit.
I wonder if it was actually the early mob doing that. That's interesting.
Oh, so I have another one.
I'm sensing a theme with these facts. I'm gonna go on a limb and say these are all New York facts, huh?
Correct.
Okay.
I love it. Love themes.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. So in the winter of
I love themes.
1780
He said.
Okay, in the
I'm
winter
sorry.
of 1780, it's okay. New York Harbor froze. So the winter of that year was so harsh to the point that people were able to walk from Manhattan to Staten Island on the ice of the New York Harbor.
What?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
dope.
I have heard of that, and I think
Oh, have you?
that was the same time where isn't that the same year where there was that just crazy snowstorm that I remember I read about it when I was a kid. I think it's the same year, and it was just like so many people died, and like so many companies just made money off of like people buying shovels because there's just all this fucking snow. It was just like a bad winter year.
See, and nowadays, if that happened, the Democrats would be like, global warming, buy electric vehicles.
Oh, come on now. All right. We're getting all right now. No.
Sorry, I had to take a jab.
Oh boy.
Okay. So New York City is home to the first headquarters of the United Nations. It was established in 1952 after the end of World War II as a designated international territory.
Yes, that I didn't know.
Well, you
I
guys.
did not know that.
Oh, well, yeah.
Sorry, I am a little bit of a World War II buff.
Yeah, that is very
Adjust
true.
glasses.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Stephanie, let's do how about like
One
4
more.
more facts?
Okay, 4 more facts. All right, so check this out. So Brooklyn can easily be the 4th largest city in the United States. If Brooklyn were its own city and not part of New York City, it's large enough to take the 4th spot in the biggest U.S. cities.
Huh.
So why don't they just rebel?
I don't know. Don't
It's
know.
what?
What is Brooklyn? Is Brooklyn like a ward or something?
Who?
A ward or what is Brooklyn? I
Brooklyn.
thought Brooklyn was like a suburb.
They're
Oh.
like all these they're the 5 main suburbs, or I guess you can call them cities in themselves, of New York City. Like New York, when you say New York City, you refer to all 5 of them, but there's 5 of their own. There's Brooklyn, the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. Those are the 5 that make up New York City.
It's so crazy because they're actually big enough to be their own little cities. So it's like when someone's like, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from the
They're
Bronx.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why people also identify that more, because there's, well, not just different ethnic groups too in some of those areas, but there's almost like a different lifestyle, like compared to someone who lives in Queens or Brooklyn, you know?
Yeah.
They take that shit seriously.
I kind of want to move to New York a little bit, and I just want to see if I can, like, you know.
I really thought they were little small ghettos.
Be a New Yorker.
No, see, then it gets into smaller spots like Harlem. What city does Harlem belong to, Stephanie? It's not Brooklyn. It's the Bronx, right?
No, it's Manhattan.
Oh, it's Manhattan. Oh, geez, I was real off.
But then within those groups, you have even more subgroups, right? Because you're from Spanish Harlem, right?
Yeah.
So
Spanish.
is there like a Black Harlem, a Spanish Harlem?
So well, then Harlem would be considered Black Harlem.
So what's Spanish Harlem? Can you give us a little bit of history about like Spanish Harlem?
Yeah. So if I recall correctly, I think Spanish Harlem begins on 96th Street from 96th in York to Lexington. I could be wrong. Let's Google it.
Oh boy, here we go.
So
Getting
where's
Google in
Dumbo
for the
at?
facts.
Is it kind of like when you go, like, is it kind of like one of those things where you go over here to the West Coast and like, you'll be like, yeah, we're in Chinatown. And like, you're really in LA, but they're like, yeah, this place to this place is all Chinese.
Yeah, I'm in Chinatown. Oh, by the way, there's a Chinatown in New York as well.
There's a Chinatown in every major city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I actually
It's like
stayed at
there's
the
a Martin
Chinatown
Luther
in
King
Boston.
Drive.
Cool, man. That's fucking
Which is on
cool.
every ghetto.
There's probably like a whole lot of cool Irish shit in New York too.
Okay, so Spanish Harlem begins at 96th Street and it stretches to 125th. So that's pretty much it.
And you guys got like food and like different clubs and markets and all that shit in there. Like it's just like a whole.
I wouldn't say clubs. I would say more like food and just projects and new luxury buildings all in one, and bodegas in every corner, a whole bunch of barbershops in every block.
Sounds lit. That sounds like a great place.
It sounds
Yeah.
awesome. All right, Stephanie, let's do those 3 final facts.
All right, I got you. So, New York City boasts a 520-mile long coastline. So, this distance goes longer than the combined coast of Boston, Los Angeles, Miami, and San Francisco.
Wow.
No.
I did not know the length of that. I knew it was long, but I did not know that.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to do a pizza one. Do they have
Mommy?
a pizza one?
I want chocolate milk because I'm so sweaty.
Okay, you want chocolate milk because you're sweaty. Gotcha. Okay,
Oh, shout out to our special guest.
Landon.
No, seriously, that was cute. That was awesome.
That was.
All right, wait. Okay, fuck it. So, the New York Pizza Connection is an economic principle followed in New York City. Fairly accurately, it states that the average price of a pizza slice must match the cost of a Subway. Hold on, I gotta X this out. Sorry, let's do that again. Fairly accurately, it states that the average price of a pizza slice must match the cost of a subway ride, such that when one increases or decreases, the other tends to follow suit.
Wow, I did
You
not
know
know
that?
that.
Now that
That I did not know.
Yeah,
That's interesting too.
badass.
that is interesting.
What's a better pizza? New York pizza or Chicago pizza?
New York.
I've never had a Chicago pizza, so I wouldn't want to comment because
Chicago's the deep dish pizza. It's not even really. It's good. I'm not saying it's not
Don't
good.
talk
but it's
about
not,
my city.
It's not. I'm not saying it's not good. It's really
You can
good,
argue
but
if
it's
you want
not.
to.
It's not like really pizza.
Okay, there
It's like its
all right, we
own
there.
thing.
So
There we go.
Chicago pizza is not pizza.
Okay,
It's
now
not
y'all
the
starting
same
some
as
shit.
like New York pizza.
I just want to
Watch
know,
your
like,
mouth.
what's
It's almost like trying to compare like a plate of lasagna to
The fuck's
a
wrong
plate
with
of
you?
gnocchi.
Who the hell are you? No. How about we talk about this real quick? Okay, so what makes a pizza? Sauce, cheese, some toppings, and then some pizza crust. Okay. Guess what? With Chicago deep dish, you get your pizza crust, you get your
Yep.
cheese,
Mhm.
and then you have your toppings, which is the sauce, and then the toppings is inside the pizza. New York pizza ain't shit but a fucking glob of grease that's on dough that falls out
Chicago
like paper.
deep dish is more like some like giant pastry.
Giant pastry. How
What?
dare you?
It is not a pastry.
Who the hell
How?
are you?
Stephanie, I gotta have backup here. Come on, we're from this area.
Okay,
You gotta give me some
for
back. I'm
one,
gonna get teamed up on.
Chicago
Help me.
pizza is
Tell him- tell him-
That's-
he said pizza's
listen,
a
I don't know-
pastry.
What? Pizza's a pastry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the host Christian Murmur just said.
Of Chicago's deep dish. It's like a big, like almost like pastry almost compared to like our. Like,
Wait,
you know,
so what? Like
in
it's
the oven.
like
It's just
not-
like it's deep dish. It's like you put it in. There's like these big, like the slices are big. They're thick like this. You pull it out.
Send me your address.
It's
will
almost
send
like.
you-
It's
No,
almost
they
like
really do that. They really do that. They will really send you a deep dish pizza.
it's almost like
Shout out to Giordano's being the
pie.
best deep dish pizza of all.
Although
Chicago.
it's also called a pie. But I mean, I just
I wouldn't know because I've never had.
I think New York
Pizza
pizza is the
from-
closest we have to like real pizza is really what I'm saying. I'm not saying
First-
Chicago deep dish is not good. It is very, very good. I'm not saying that.
So
you think-
do you prefer brick oven?
I prefer like how it is like you go to like your local pizza spot in New York and like fucking Brooklyn or something. Like that's real pizza to me.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not telling you what real pizza is. I'm telling you what the best pizza is. The best pizza is in Chicago, and it's Chicago's deep dish. I'll even go further than this, that Chicago's thin crust is also better than New York pizza.
Oh, I'd
On that, I think you're bugging.
I think the crust is the biggest, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what really
Wait,
narrows it
hold
down. It's the
on. What
type
is
of crust. Because New York is kind of more of like a what? It's like a thin crust type deal. You know
No,
what I'm
it's
saying?
like a regular crust. Like a soft,
It's like
but
you're watching-
it's thick enough that you can hold it.
It's like you're watching your carbs out there. While Chicago is like, thick. That's why they say, you know what I mean? Like thick.
Hey,
It's
listen,
good,
if you're
it's
eating
sturdy.
pizza, you're not watching your carbs. That's the truth of that.
Yeah, touche. But
All right.
New
Well,
York
we'll
style pizza,
respectfully disagree.
it's layered, man. New York is more like layered, right? With simple toppings and ingredients. You got your mozzarella cheese, you got your little tomato sauce, you know what I'm saying? You got your little meats or whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? And you're throwing on a little bit of thin crust and you got your stuff. Chicago pizza is like, it's like the opposite. It's like, it can be layered with like multiple fucking cheeses,
See that?
tons of vegetables, different type of meat toppings, utensils. You need utensils for
Yes.
Chicago type of cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
the
right.
deep dish crust adds such a crispy, fried and oily thing that you just can't get. Because if your crust is oily in New York, it's gonna be all soggy and shit's gonna limp.
See,
That's
that's
right.
that's one of the problems.
know.
Like I said, you said it's layered. It's like a lasagna. It's almost like
it's not a lasagna because
it's
a
almost like a
lasagna,
lasagna.
you need no. It's not. Don't you dare say it like a lasagna.
Some things are
hell's wrong with
better
you?
when they're simple.
The word used that was specifically put out that Jimmy just said for New York pizza is it's simple. Simple.
Sometimes
crust,
simple is
your-
better.
your
You don't have to add a
mozzarella,
million different
your
things to make
basil.
something good.
Your light topping. You don't need light toppings. You know what? Here's what I'm telling you. All right, if you go to New York, you're gonna get like a meat lovers. You're probably gonna have like 2 pieces of bacon total with like maybe 4 or 5 pepperonis. You go to Chicago, you order 1 slice of deep dish pizza. You're getting a pack of fucking bacon and a whole hog.
Yes, you are a happy motherfucker. Let me ask you this question, okay? For the room, for the people, for the listeners. Let me ask everybody
Yeah.
this question.
Go ahead.
Pizza. Pizza is like it's like a thick woman. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be well fed, you're gonna be satisfied, and you ain't never gonna want for nothing.
Yeah.
And then that New York pizza is like that skinny motherfucker with the ribs showing. You're gonna break and you're gonna want some extra, you're gonna want some more.
Yeah. Like New
All
York
right.
pizza might be like
I totally disagree with you. But
Ain't no boobies, ain't no boobies, ain't no ass
First
to grab
of
on.
all,
Ain't got no thick dick.
You talking mad shit right now. No, you're talking mad shit. Like mad fucking shit right now.
And that's
'cause
fine.
New York, no, because New York pizza is just right. Like
Yes.
legit just right.
Thank
There's
you.
no extra shit to it, okay? It's just a fucking it's a perfectly made, proportionally just perfect.
It is.
Okay. That's all. Like and then if you want like a thin slice and then like freaking like oven type shit, bruh. Like there's so many like mom and pop shops throughout New York City that make that shit and it's like to freaking perfection.
It's
So send me your
But,
address.
yeah. You know why?
Text it
You
to
know-
me.
You know why it's not? You know why it's not proportionally perfect is because it's limiting in ingredients because of the thin crust.
it's not always thin. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know where you ate pizza one time. It's not.
Seriously.
I've
like,
never
I don't know where
I've
this
never
is going.
eaten pizza in New York. I'm just very biased.
Oh, so you didn't even
Oh,
eat?
so you
Okay,
didn't
we're
fucking
done.
shit.
We're done with
No, no,
this.
no, no,
This
no.
is over.
Everywhere you
I'm
no,
from the
because
Midwest. I'm just
no,
biased motherfucker.
because
All right.
everywhere you go,
We're
you
done.
get New York pizza.
I do get New
Everybody
York
can
pizza.
make
It's
it.
not the same though, Chuck. Like you go somewhere
Everybody
else,
can
it's
make
not that they call it New York pizza, but it's not the same as actual New York pizza.
Okay, give me some bread, Crisco, and a couple of pepperoni slices from goddamn a Lunchable, and then put a glop of Crisco on it. And
no, man, you're not making it the same because you need that Italian guy in a wife beater with his chest hair hanging over it in a fucking hot kitchen making that shit. That's what you fucking need, man.
Why do I want to eat somebody's sweat?
You know what you both need? You guys both need some motherfucking Emo's pizza.
You know what? We're gonna leave it at this. This is what I'm gonna say. The listeners out there who are listening to this episode, please message the Instagram, the podcast Instagram, and tell us what city you think has the best pizza out there in the United States, and we will come back in maybe a couple episodes, and we will talk about our findings from that. But let's leave it to that because I feel like this is going to be a stalemate. But real quick, because we're actually a little past time. Stephanie, please, your last fact, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay. The first pizzeria in the U.S. opened in New York City in 1895. Since then, Lombardi's has been serving some of the best pizza, not just in the city, but in the whole country.
Boom.
Gang.
Right there. That was a great last fact to leave that on. That was a great one.
That's not.
That was a great last
That's
fact.
just a review. It's a Yelp review.
Real quick fact from my end. They think the earliest written recording of pizza being made is actually in Virgil's Aeneid, which is technically a sequel to the Odyssey, in his epic poem, where Aeneas, when they're stuck, I forget where they were stuck at, some island, they pretty much made pizza to eat before they fought some fucking sea monster or something. So that's one of the first earliest recordings of pizza.
You know what? I'm going to make me a flatbread, goat cheese, arugula with honey pizza.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty much how it is in that story. They're like, Aeneas, what are we gonna eat? I got all this fucking marinara sauce. What are we gonna do with it? It's like, oh man, I got some bread. Put that shit on there. You know what? We got some cheese. Shred that shit up. Put that on there, and we'll cook it for a little bit, and maybe that'll be good. And then they do it, and they're like, that shit was good. All right, let's go fucking fight a sea monster. And then the fucking shit continues. Yeah. So that's
good shit.
Yeah. That's the Aeneid right there. All right, but anyway, guys, we talked about a lot of fun things here on the podcast, but we're at that sad time of the podcast where we got to wrap things up and do our last minute plugs, as we always do. So, Stephanie, my friend, you got any last minute plugs for our listeners?
Yes. I want to give a big shout out to Holy Maid Glory. He is a designer. He's a good friend of mine. He has pretty awesome shirts. I'm wearing one of his shirts right now. You can follow his Instagram, so you can check out some of the merch that he has there. I'm sorry, it's Glory Made Holy. Ugh, Glory Made Holy. My bad, guys. So yeah, you can.
Glory hole.
Literally, yeah. What? Did you say glory hole? You're a jerk. So yeah, his Instagram is Glory Made Holy. And shout out to you guys for being so fucking awesome. Thank you, Chuck, for again just winging it, doing what you do best. And Jimmy, you're wearing glasses. Great job.
I had to blend in.
Yeah, so we had a thing in the beginning of the episode, since you were running a little late. We were like, all right, we're gonna all wear sunglasses and see if Jimmy acknowledges it. And Jimmy went a step further by not saying a goddamn thing about it and finding a pair of his own sunglasses and putting them on for the listeners to know. So we're all just sitting here wearing sunglasses. Most of us are indoors. Stephanie's the only one outdoors, so it makes sense for her. The rest of us are just wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in the damn closet.
And then Chuck is in the closet.
Wait a minute. So you were like, hey, let's put on glasses and see if Jimmy notices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even talked about it in the beginning of the episode. We were like, because you were running late, and we're like, all right, since he's running late, we're gonna like prank him a little bit by this way, and it didn't even he didn't even say anything about it. You just put on your own.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for those last minute plugs, Stephanie. I really appreciate it. And Chuck, our in studio comedian, you got any last minute plugs for the listeners?
Hey man, shout out to O'Shea. He just dropped a new EP.
Yep.
Yeah, shit was kind of raw. But hey, get on that Topaz can Instagram, follow the Great Morning, the podcast, Instagram, share it with your friends.
Please.
And if you're in the California area, come on out to the Central Valley and catch me on Just the Tips, doing some stand-up comedy. It's time to get back on the road, baby.
There you go.
Hell yeah, man. Really appreciate those last minute plugs. And of course, Jimmy, my friend, you got any last minute plugs to listeners?
Yeah, man. Shout out to DeBron's Kneecap coming out with them slanging beats. Shout out to Crow Mob, my little bro, killing it out there. And that's about it, man. That's pretty much all the plugs I have.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I like those last minute plugs. It doesn't need to be long. It's fine. Well, thank you guys for those last minute plugs. My last minute plugs real quick are, of course, you can follow my personal Instagram. That's Christian Merms. It's open to the public right now. I will close it after the season is out. So get there now if you really want to follow it. But the one I really want you to follow is, of course, Great Morning _ the podcast on Instagram. Please follow that. That's where we put out a lot of like who's going to be on the next episode or what the next episode is going to be about. And then when it, releases, we post all that on the story. We post when we're going to do a special or what the special might be about, unless it's a secret, all that stuff. So please follow that for all your Great Morning content. You can follow You Love Steph on Instagram, of course. You can follow Steffi __0 on TikTok. You can follow Great Morning _ the podcast on TikTok as well. You can follow Trip God Jimmy, that is TRYPGODJIMI on Instagram. You can go and follow O'Shea Ivy, of course. Like Chuck said, he just released a new EP, so go listen to that. He's a great friend of the podcast, so give him some love. Great music that guy produces out there and releases. DeBron's Kneecap, of course. And then, of course, go get your merchandise at shopgreatmorning.com. Again, that's shopgreatmorning.com. Get your hat, your shirt, your sweatshirt, whatever you want. Shopgreatmorning.com. And again, I know we keep saying this. We're probably going to talk about it after this episode. We're going to come up with some ideas for new specials for you guys soon. So don't worry, there will be a special coming out soon, and we will announce that shortly what the next special is going to be and when it might be coming out. But yeah, we'll be working on that. But yeah, that's it. That's all my last minute plugs. That's it, guys. We're done here, and that was fun. We talked about some time travel. We talked about some pizza. It was a great classic Great Morning episode right here. And like I said, that was our episode. Great morning.
Great morning.
Great morning.
Great morning.
Great morning.